In this video, we're going to do an introduction to what technical analysis is. And what I thought we would do is we would talk about the difference between technical analysis and fundamental analysis. So my name is Tyler Stokes from StokesTrades.com. I'm on a journey to become a full-time day trader, and I'm at the stage now where I am starting to study technical analysis. So if you want to download my 6-month blueprint that outlines exactly what I'm doing in the first 6 months of this journey, you can find a link below this video. Again, we're on months 5 and 6 now, so we are at the stage where we need to study technical analysis. And what I thought we would do, we'll jump over to the computer here, is we would talk about the difference between technical and fundamental analysis, sort of like an intro into what technical analysis is. And then throughout this series, we're going to do videos and discussions all about the different components of technical analysis. So I think this is sort of the best way to start this section. Now, before we do start, just as sort of a general maybe warning or a disclaimer, I've seen a lot of this type of message when just getting started with technical analysis, and that is that it is a very big subject matter. It's something that you're probably going to continue to study as you even get into trading with real money, and it's not something that I'm expecting to master in a few months. So my plan here over the next few months is to get a good grasp of sort of the introduction to technical analysis and sort of the main components, but then certainly I am going to need to continue to hone my skills and master various components as I continue to paper trade and get into real trading. So it's a big subject matter. A lot of people seem to quit before they learn enough to become successful trading. So just kind of know that going in here on this journey. The next few months I'm studying technical analysis, but certainly that's going to take me much more than a few months studying at nights and on the weekends to sort of get a good grasp of everything about this subject matter. So I just wanted to share that before we get started. Okay, so I think it's good to look at fundamental analysis first because I think it's probably more likely that most people understand this form of investing as opposed to technical analysis, or at least I certainly am more familiar with fundamental analysis. So when you invest for the long term, you're going to use fundamental analysis. So you're going to study a company's balance sheet, its income statement, cash flow statement, and you're going to evaluate the health of the company before you invest. So you're going to look at the company's guidance for growth over the next few years. You're going to look at like the strength of their management, what competitive advantages they have in their specific market moving forward, and these are going to influence whether you think the stock is overvalued or undervalued at the present moment, and whether you're going to invest. So the main aim for fundamental analysis is to predict the future price of a stock by determining whether it is undervalued or overvalued. And this approach aids investors in making educated decisions about whether to buy, hold, or sell stocks in order to optimize their potential profit. So I think most people are familiar with this type of investing. And certainly that's how I have invested in the past with the stocks that I own. Now, technical analysis, it's very different. Technical analysis focuses on the very short term. So, when you're day trading or you're swing trading, you're buying and selling stocks over the course of, minutes, a few hours, or just a few days. So it's very short term. And therefore, your trading strategy requires this thing called technical analysis. So the fundamentals really don't matter that much when you're, buying and selling a stock in a single day. So you're not concerned, with the future of the company, and sometimes, some day traders, they're trading stocks. They don't really even know much about the company. They might know, what sector it's in. But, some people don't know exactly what they're even trading. And that can be done when you're just holding a stock for, a few hours or a few days. The company's, reports and its financial health likely won't impact your trading decisions when you're doing, day trading or very short-term trading. So, as a day trader, your focus, it's all about studying the past price movements of a stock along with the trading volume to predict future trends. So that's sort of, what technical analysis is. If we sort of just, have an overview statement here, technical analysis provides traders, with a toolkit for assessing market conditions and potential future movements, relying on past and present data rather than the intrinsic value of the stock. So when you do technical analysis, there's various ways and tools and approaches that you can do, but you're mainly going to use these main categories. And these are some of the things that we plan to discuss on this YouTube channel. And these are like the main category pieces of content, so to speak, that I aim to get familiar with over the next few months. So charts, these visual representations of stocks over time. So as a technical analyst, you're going to be studying charts a lot. You're going to look for trends and patterns. One of the most popular types of charts is the candlestick. So we're going to have tutorials about candlesticks. Again, it's a chart that shows the high, the low, the opening and closing prices of a stock. So that's a really popular one. You're going to study volume. So this shows the number of shares that are trading, or the number of contracts that are trading in a given time period. Time frames are really important. So you can look at stocks through the lens of a daily chart, a 5-minute chart, or a longer time frame. Price action. We're going to talk about price action more in this video. That's the method where traders, you're solely focusing on the movement of the stock, the prices of the stock, and then you're predicting future movements based on what the stock is doing and some past trends. Pattern trends are really important. We're going to be studying, trend lines and various indicators that will help us predict what the stock or what the asset might be doing. Moving averages. So these are sort of like averages in where a stock has been over time, and these can indicate, price predictions moving forward when you kind of analyze and what to look for there. And then there's support and resistance. So certain levels where the stock is supported and not falling further. And then as the stock rises in price, it might hit what's called a resistance level, and it can't sort of break through. And it's going to be important to recognize those on charts when you get into the nitty gritty of technical analysis. So those are sort of like the main components of what technical analysis is. And again, this approach, studying these things, it's much different than studying what you would study if you do a fundamental analysis sort of approach. So one's long-term fundamental analysis, and one is short-term technical analysis. And in terms of resources for studying technical analysis, below this video, you can find a link to this book, Technical Analysis of the Financial Markets. It seems to be very popular, recommended. I own a copy. This is the second resource that I bought after starting this journey. It's very good. And in chapter 1, it states sort of like the 3 main philosophies of technical analysis. And the first one there is price action discounts everything. And we're going to talk more about that. Prices move in trends, and then history repeats itself. So that's sort of like the rationale or the philosophy of technical analysis. And those 3 points seem to come up a lot when you're running through the various ways to do technical analysis. When you're using your toolkit, a lot of what you're doing comes back to sort of these 3 points. And I want to touch more on on price action discounts, everything. But I wanted to share here 2 sort of resources and just to talk a little bit more about the difference between fundamental and technical analysis. There's this person on X called the Tesla Tracker, and I've learned a lot about technical analysis and just sort of proof of concept by following this person over the last, since the early beginning of this year. And I'll kind of go over to their Twitter page here. Basically, earlier in the year, this person, Tesla Tracker, what they do is, I'll have a link to their account that you can access below this video. Basically, this person does day trading technical analysis on Tesla every single day on his account on X. And he's been extremely accurate in some of his price predictions. So he is, doing technical analysis, but at the same time, he is a Tesla bull, meaning he likes the fundamentals of the company. So when you look at the difference there, you can invest in the long-term view of a company like Tesla, and some of the fundamentals you might look at would be, it's the number one selling EV last year in the Model Y. It's viewed as a car company, but it's very much a tech and robotics company. They've got an energy business that is growing extremely well every year. It's starting to be profitable. The autonomous vehicle sort of network is becoming more apparent that is going to happen with some of the new releases in their full self-driving vehicles. They've got their manufacturing technology is excellent. They've got their AI that they're investing in artificial intelligence. And they've got a humanoid robot on the way. So if you were to look at the fundamentals and you believed in them, then you would think that over the next 10 years, Tesla has so many different business avenues to go into. And that might be a reason why you would want to invest in the stock at the present moment. Many people do. Certainly others don't believe in Tesla right now. And this particular person has a long-term view, but they also understand that that's a long-term view, and you can still trade the stock and make money trading and make money short-term investing with Tesla. And that's exactly what this person does. So earlier in the year, I've got this chart here. This was developed, I think, in January of 2024. And they had a price prediction way back then when the stock was in the $240 range, that by spring it would come down to around 163. And then in February, he sort of emphasized this and predicted that it would come down to 143 near the end of March. And he was so accurate in this prediction. If we look at where Tesla stock was, I actually personally sold some stock back in January for around $240, and I rebought back in at close to 140. And the stock has basically done exactly what this person has projected. Again, this is not financial advice, but they've been so accurate in understanding that based on their technical analysis, they're very good at doing what they do. They were able to predict that the stock would be coming down and reaching a low around 140. And it's not just this person. I'll also include this link where this person, Mark Newton, back in February, also when the stock was in the, I believe, maybe 180s, predicted that he expected the stock to come all the way down to around 140 in the spring. And that's certainly what Tesla has done. Many believe that it's bottomed out and now it's on the rise. So if you watch this video, February 4th, it's so scary how accurate this person's projection of Tesla stock is. The present time, we're in May now. Go and watch this video. And again, you can check out the link to Tesla Tracker and some of the images he's posted and the dates he's posted. It's so accurate in their assessment. So these people, although they may have a long-term view of Tesla and they believe in the fundamentals, they understand that in the short term, the stock needs to do various things and is going to, trade and go lower or go higher. And based on their analysis, they're able to also make money trading the stock as it fluctuates, but they also have a fundamental view that it's going to be high in the future. So I just wanted to kind of share that to sort of get that perspective that, the long-term fundamentals, you might be looking at a longer time horizon, and those things might come to fruition. But in the short term, many people can certainly trade a day-to-day basis. And that's what we are going to be doing in terms of day trading. And technical analysis helps and allows you to be able to, make profits in the short term, as opposed to just waiting and holding out for the fundamentals to sort of come around and come to fruition. So I also wanted to share a post that this Tesla tracker did to sort of reemphasize this whole idea of the price action discounts everything. And then this whole notion of whether the news affects stocks and whether you as a technical analyst should be concerned with news events or whether you should just be studying the price action of a stock. So again, a link to this post is below this video, and I'll just read it verbatim here. So basically, someone asked a question or made a statement, and they read, "If today ends up green, it's very unlikely that we will see 152 next week, in my opinion, unless we have some insane news this weekend." And Tesla Tracker replied to that stating, "People keep telling me price requires news. And I'm telling And I'm trying to educate you that price action is a factor of sentiment in market participants. The media doesn't trade stocks. They just report after the fact. News follows price action, not the other way around. The words and opinions of people who aren't buying and selling simply don't matter. At the end of the day, all that matters is what people who trade, people who participated in the market, felt was a good enough price to buy or sell that day. You add all the sentiment up over time across millions of shares traded, and you get the price action of the market. So whether this kind of clicks with you now or not, I would kind of go back and read this. You can access this article below this video. But it's important for you to kind of slowly get a grasp on the fact that price action, people believe that it sort of discounts everything, or everything is there in the price of a stock. So, if we were to kind of break down that statement a little bit, many people think that news stories cause stock prices to go up or down. However, some believe that it's actually the feelings and opinions of those who buy and sell the stocks that mainly affect the prices. So the news usually talks about these price changes after they've already happened, showing that stock prices often change before news reports them. So sometimes, stock prices might drop, and there are certainly situations where news can affect a stock. If the news comes out that a product is causing, very bad health things or is killing people, obviously that stock is going to tank. Or if news comes out that a company has totally lost their competitive advantage in some area, then yes, the stock is going to tank. But I think the message here is that trading the news is not something that you're going to be successful in, and by the time the news comes to your desk, it's already priced into the stock. So every day, the main thing that matters is how much traders are willing to pay for stocks based on how they feel about them. Over time, these feelings add up and are shown in the stock prices you see. That's what we mean by sentiment. So I think the general consensus is that, sure, there might be some news events that can certainly affect the stock, but they're rare. And for the most part, price action, everything is stated in the price. The market's efficient. And that as a beginner, especially, it's probably better to just trade based on the price action and not have any bias based on external factors like news reports and things of that nature. I think that's a general sort of consensus, and certainly something that you might want to look into further. But let's dive a little bit deeper into this whole price action thing. And I think I'm hammering home this point a little bit in this video, is that it's important for me, or at least it was, to get through my head that price action is so important, and that news events or fundamentals really don't matter when you're really doing day trading and you're looking at the price action of the stock for this short-term trading. So again, just to kind of go over price action a little bit. Price action is the way that a stock's price moves up or down over time. So that's what it is. As the stock price is going up and down, it's what you see on a chart, showing whether the price is rising or falling, and so to speak. So, when we talk about price action in terms of technical analysis, we're focusing on the actual movement of a stock's price represented on the charts. And these include, dips, rises, or whether it stays flat. The technical analysts, they use this visual information to try and figure out what might happen next with the stock's price. And that's what technical analysis is. And then, they view things in various ways. So, understanding sentiment, price action, it's like a story that tells us how traders feel about a stock at any given moment. For example, if a stock's price suddenly drops or jumps, it might mean that, a lot of people might be pessimistic or optimistic about it. At that time, charts are used as tools. So again, analysts use different types of charts to study price action, decoding markets language. So every change in price tells something about the market's mood. And then price action is, current. So one key idea with technical analysis, again, and I've repeated myself a little bit here, but that price action reflects all the available information about a stock. So this means that, whatever publicly is known about the company's financial health, the market conditions, and other factors is believed to be factored into the current price. So focusing on, price action alone, analysts aim to make educated decisions about the future price movements based on how prices have changed in the past, rather than getting bogged down with any specific company financial details or reports and news reports and things of that nature. So again, this approach based on the belief that the price itself, as it is shown on the charts, is a direct reflection of everything affecting the stock's value. So I think the first time I heard that was hard for me to understand that is actually how this stuff works. But again, that is sort of like a true sense of a pure technical analysis sort of framework. And I think we've kind of gone over this whole news relationship. Again, just to summarize it here, technical analysts and technical analysis, it focuses more on the price action observed in the charts rather than timing news events. So it assumes that the news and events are already reflected in the price movements, and by analyzing these movements, traders can identify potential trading opportunities. So that's sort of like a purist kind of view of what technical analysis is. And then obviously others, everyone has their own sort of view on this and their approach and how they use it. Some people, weigh in a little bit more with news, where others just focus on the price action. But again, I think as an introduction and the first video that we're making in this series, I think what I'm trying to kind of say is that you need to sort of learn or get a perspective on this price action and this definition of technical analysis. And, whether you're listening to this or you check out other sources, before it sort of clicks and you have your aha moment with this sort of stuff. I know for me, it just took a while and a few resources to sort of fully buy into this idea that price action, everything is reflected in price action, so to speak. So again, just to wrap up here, again, the principle, I know that price action discounts everything, forms the core of technical analysis, enabling us analysts and us, beginners who are just learning to concentrate exclusively on charts and price movements. So again, that is something important to understand. This approach, it's built on the assumption that all relevant information, whether public or private, is already factored into the current prices. So again, I've repeated myself quite a bit here, but I think this summary is really important to understand. And it was important for me to sort of get a grasp on as well. By analyzing patterns and trends directly from the charts, technical analysts strive to forecast future market behaviors and make informed trading decisions without the need for external data. So that is really what we are going to be doing as a day trader and as a technical analyst. This method emphasizes the belief that the key to successful trading lies in understanding the signals the market provides through price movement. So again, that's sort of price action. That's what it is. I know we talked a bit about that, or quite a bit about that in this video. And then moving forward, what we're going to do now is we're going to learn all the ways that we can study price action for us to make better predictions on what the stock is going to do. And we're going to use charts. We're going to understand how to find trends. We're going to study volume, moving averages of a stock. We're going to study support and resistance. So when you put all these things together, the idea is that you will have a good idea of what the stock is going to do next based on your technical analysis approach on what the price of the stock is doing at the current moment. So that's sort of like a summary. And that's a good place to stop here for our introduction to technical analysis. So subscribe to this channel. Again, this is our first video. We're going to get into all of the components of technical analysis. We're going to do tutorials. We'll do some whiteboard presentations as well. So thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to this channel. And if, again, you're interested in becoming a day trader, starting your own journey, certainly consider downloading my 6-month blueprint. You can find that below this video, and that's going to outline everything that I do in the first 6 months of this journey. So thanks so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.